Sweet children, there is just one way to become pure. What is that? Have remembrance of the Father. Only the effort of having remembrance will be useful at the end. So, accurate remembrance. This is the topic of the Murli today. What does it mean to have accurate remembrance? Are you remembering Baba according to Srimad, according to instructions, or are you remembering your version of Baba? I've said this many times. Very few Brahmins remember him as he is. Only the effort of having remembrance will be useful at the end. Question. What tilak should you apply at the confluence age so that you receive the tilak of the kingdom in the golden age? What tilak should you apply at the confluence age so that you receive the tilak of the kingdom in the golden age? At the confluence age, you apply the tilak of
Soul contact.
being a soul, a point, and not a body. Continue to make this firm within yourself that you are a soul and that you have to claim your inheritance from the Father. Baba is a point. I am also a point. With this tilak, you will attain the tilak of the kingdom of heaven. Baba says, if you remember me, I guarantee that you will be saved from crying for half the cycle. No sorrow at all, so nobody cries in the first half. I don't want to live in the full half of that world because you're going to have to experience and watch so many people crying in the second half. You know, if you were so detached, you could do that, but nobody's detached like that. You all are attached, therefore you're all going to cry. Om Shanti. You need to have this concern. I, the soul, definitely have to remember the Father because only then can I become pure. All the effort is required just for this. However, you children are unable to make this effort. We're unable to make this effort. Maya troubles you a lot. She makes you forget to have remembrance of the one Father because there's remembrance of other beings. So one of the biggest sins you do is forgetting Baba. Never mind forgetting Baba due to wanting to remember human beings. So everything you should see as a test. Baba says, you are a point and I am also a point. Colon. With this tilak, you will attain the link of the kingdom of heaven, the tilak of the kingdom of heaven. Baba says, if you remember me, I guarantee, only God can give a guarantee. I guarantee that you'll be saved from crying for half the cycle. Well, clearly you would have to stop crying now and prefer to remember Baba. And if you won't stop crying, then you're going to have to cry a lot more in the second half of the cycle. And if you cry a lot in the confluence stage, you might miss a whole bunch of golden age because you won't let go of your attachment to sorrow. Om Shanti. You need to have this concern that I, the soul, definitely have to remember the Father. Because only then can I become pure. All the effort is required just for this. However, you children are unable to make this effort. Maya troubles you a lot. She makes you forget to have remembrance of the one Father because there's remembrance of other things. All the effort is required just for this, to remember Baba and become pure. However, you children are unable to make this effort. Maya troubles you a lot. She makes you forget to have remembrance of the one Father because there's remembrance of other beings. You then don't remember the Father or the bridegroom. You have to do the service of remembering such a bridegroom for a minimum of 8 hours. You have to help your bridegroom by remembering him. That is, you children should remember the Father. This endeavor is very great. The term man above is mentioned in the Gita. Continue to remember the Father. Continue to remember the one Father whilst walking and moving around. There is nothing else you have to do. At the end, it is this remembrance that will be useful. Consider yourselves to be bodiless souls who now have to return home. You have to make a great deal of this effort in the morning, after bathing, etc. Go and sit in solitude on the roof terrace or in the hall. or on the deck or walk out on the property or sit in front of the garden. The more solitude there is, the better. Always think that you have to remember the Father. You have to claim your full inheritance from the Father. In the more, Bible says, the more solitude there is, the better. Always think that you have to remember the Father. It should be the forefront of your awareness. Your whole purpose of your day is to practice strengthening your remembrance of Baba. You have to claim your full inheritance from the Father. You have to make this full effort every 5,000 years. You will not have to make this effort in gold and silver, copper and iron ages, right? Because you don't have knowledge. You can't become pure, right? You have copper age bhakti remembrance, which makes you more and more impure. So I've said that so many times. Because you don't have knowledge, then your remembrance, even though you have good motives and intention, I want to remember God, I want to remember God. There's no connection with God whatsoever. There's no recognition of who he is. So there's no accurate remembrance. How could sins be absolved? So that's that whole sanskar so deep in Brahmins and in everyone due to bhakti that as long as I meant well and I tried, God understands and therefore I'll get credit for that. Well, you get zero credit for remembrance of God in the sense of becoming more pure. All your good intention does in the path of bhakti is what? What does bhakti do? What does bhakti do? In essence, what does it really do? Baba says this all the time. Can't make you pure. You can't ascend, so
Decent. You're going,
hmm?
you're going further down.
You go further down slowly. It slows down the degradation. It's like, what money does. What does money do? It cannot make you pure. Money can defer your karmic account settlement. It's only at this confluence stage that Father tells you, remember me, that is all. This is the time when the Father says, remember me. The Father only comes at the confluence stage. He does not come at any other time. You also know this number-wise according to the effort you make. Many children forget the Father, and this is why they are deceived a great deal. Why? Because what does remembrance do to your intellect? Being deceived is to do with your intellect.
It's intellectually or divine.
Remembrance with your intellect makes your intellect more pure, more concentrated, more powerful. Right? So when you have less of that, you don't discern as well. You are deceived due to not having enough remembrance, not having enough concentration, not noticing enough detail. Ravan is very deceitful. He is your enemy for half the cycle. Do you treat your vices like they're your enemy? You're not nice to your enemy. You don't give them quarter. You don't, forgive them, give them mercy. You kill your enemy. Is that not what you're supposed to do with enemies? Instead, what do people do nowadays? They have a whole word for that now. They turn their enemies into frenemies, right? They try to make them their friend. You don't want to make your Maya your friend until you've got her completely subservient to you. Until then, she's your enemy until further notice. That's how you have to treat her. He's your enemy for half the cycle. This is why the Father says, wake up early every morning and churn the ocean of this knowledge and keep your chart of how long you remember the Father and how much rust would have been removed. Everything depends on remembrance. You children have to try very hard to claim your full inheritance. And many of you say, well, it's not royal to be like that. We don't want to be gross. No, you should not. But if you could manifest a stage that would make you really detached, you could do that effort of, making Maya your friend. But you have no record of defeating Maya. So if you can't defeat Maya, you have to make her your enemy. Once you make her your enemy, then you can do that kind of effort. Libre and soft, stable, respectful. But you got to earn Maya's respect. Maya's not going to respect you when she keeps defeating you. Everything depends on remembrance. You children have to try very hard to claim your full inheritance. You have to become Narayan from ordinary humans. This is the story of the true Narayan. Devotees have a gathering on the day of the full moon, and then they relate the story of the true Narayan. You now know that you have to become 16 celestial degrees full. You can only become that by having remembrance of the true Father. The Father is the one who gives you Srimad. The Father says, you may live at home and do your business, etc. But you do definitely have to remember the Father and become pure. That is all. Nothing more, nothing less. If you don't remember the Father, you are deceived by Ravan in one way or another. This is why the main thing of remembrance is explained to you. You have to remember Shiv Baba. Forget all your body relations, including your bodies, and have the faith that each of you is a soul. Consider yourself to be souls and remember the Father. Otherwise, you will be deceived a great deal, and there will have to be a lot of repentance at the end. You'll be slapped so hard that Maya will make your faces completely ugly. The Father has come to make your faces beautiful. Absorbed in knowledge, absorbed in remembrance. This time, everyone continues to make each other's face ugly. It is only the one Father who can make you beautiful, and it's by remembering him that you'll become the beautiful masters of heaven. You will become the beautiful masters of heaven. This world is impure. It's only the one Father who can make you beautiful, and it's by remembering him that you'll become those beautiful masters of heaven. This world is impure. The Father comes to make the impure ones pure. Baba has no connection with your business, etc. You can continue with whatever you need to do for the livelihood of your bodies. The Father simply says, Man Man above. You ask how you can become the masters of the pure world. The Father says, simply remember me. That is all. There is no other way to become pure. No matter how much they donate or how much charity they perform or how much effort they make, even to walk on fire, etc., nothing except having remembrance of the Father will be useful. This is a very simple thing. It is called easy yoga. Ask yourselves for how long you remember your sweet Father through the whole day. No sins are committed when you are asleep. Well, that's not completely true. It depends how you define sin. If you're only defining it as actions performed through the physical, but even sinful thoughts are sin, right? No sins are committed when you are asleep. You become bodies at that time. However, throughout the whole day, a lot of sins are committed, and there are still sins of the past. You have to make effort to have remembrance. You have come here, and so you have to make this effort. Finish all the wasteful thoughts of everything outside. Otherwise, it will spoil the atmosphere very much. Sometimes you continue to have thoughts of your home or your farm, etc. Sometimes you remember your children. Sometimes you remember your guru. If you continue to have such thoughts, you spoil the atmosphere. What? So everyone says, well, why are you so strict? To create the atmosphere. If you continue to have these thoughts, you spoil the atmosphere. Those who don't make effort continue to create obstacles. You say, oh, I'm just not making as much intense effort. That weakens you, and you will attract karmas, and you will not be able to have the strength to deal with your vices. So that will create obstacles. These are such subtle matters. Only at this time and at no other time do you know this, because it's the attitude that is wrong, and that's why the obstacles will come. These are such subtle matters. If you continue to have these thoughts, you spoil the atmosphere. Those who don't make effort continue to create obstacles. These are such subtle matters. Only at this time and at no other time do you know all of this. Only at this time does the Father give you the inheritance, and he then becomes carefree for half the cycle. What are we going to do for half the cycle? He's got nothing to do.
Retire.
Huh?
You retire.
Yeah, but in retirement, at least you do fun things. He's not going to do anything. He just sits there in silence. See, I wouldn't like Baba's part. I don't think I could stay half the cycle without doing anything. There is so much difference between the concerns of your worldly fathers and those of the unlimited Father. The Father says, I have so many concerns on the path of devotion. The devotees remember me so much again and again. And people say, well, why do we have to come down? You don't understand. You get the best of both worlds. You get to know God. You get to be elevated as God for a period of time. And then you get to experience the fall. And then you get to experience emptiness and degradation. And then you get to experience God coming. Like, why would you not want that full experience? Father says, I have so many concerns on the path of devotion. Devotees remember me so much again and again. No one remembers me in the golden age. The Father says, I give you so much happiness, you don't need to remember me there. Imagine. So that means you guys got to experience lots of happiness. So much happiness that you won't even feel a need to remember Baba there. No other human being can understand this. Maya causes obstacles in their intellect and stops them having faith in such a Father. Obviously, he's talking about the eternal happiness and not all this temporary pleasure happiness that everybody's, even Brahmins, are doing. Maya causes obstacles in their intellects and stops them from having faith in such a Father. The Father says, simply remember me, and the alloys of silver, copper, and iron that are mixed in you will be removed. As you go from the golden age to the silver age, there are 2 degrees less. So what's that imply? The alloys of of silver, copper, and iron will be removed. That means that the gold is still inside. It's just mixed with a lot of gold, silver, copper, and iron. As you go from the golden age to the silver age, there are 2 degrees less. You listen to and understand these things. These things will sit very clearly in the intellects of those who are true Brahmins. Otherwise, they won't sit in their intellects. They won't be able to stay and remember. So whenever you lose ability to remember Baba, concentrate on Baba, it's because somewhere in there previously you were not being a true Brahmin, i.e. following a Srimad. They won't be able to stay in remembrance. Everything depends on remembering the Father. He repeatedly says, children, remember the Father. This Baba also says, remember Shiv Baba. Shiv Baba himself says, remember me, the Father. He calls you souls. O children, the incorporeal Supreme Soul speaks to souls. Every strong Brahmin I know gets up for Amrit Vela. Even the weaker ones who don't apply, have perfect dharana, some of these center coordinators, they all still get up for Amrit Vela. Sometimes they waver and they start getting slack in Amrit Vela. But then Baba will help them for a while, but eventually something happens to them. The incorporeal Supreme Soul speaks to souls. This is the main thing. First of all, tell anyone who comes to remember Alpha. You don't need to go on and on about anything else. Simply tell them, consider yourselves to be souls and remember the Father. Each of you should continue to make this firm in yourself, that I am a soul. It is remembered that Tulsidas rubbed sandalwood to form a paste, and that Raghuvir gave the tilak of that paste on Tulsidas. However, it is not a question of a physical tilak. You understand that the tilak is in fact a memorial of this time, soul consciousness. You continue to stay in remembrance. That is, you are given the tilak of the kingdom. You will receive the tilak of the kingdom and become double crowned. You will receive the tilak of the kingdom. That is, you will become emperors and empresses of heaven. The Father explains everything to you so easily. Simply remember that you are soul and not bodies. So simple. That's the one thing Brahmins forget. You got to forget that you're a soul at least as many times as you forget Baba. You have to receive your inheritance from the Father. You souls who know you are points, and that Baba is also a point. Not who, should be you souls know you are points, and that Baba is also a point. Baba is the ocean of knowledge and the ocean of happiness. He gives us blessings. He comes and sits next to this one. A guru seats his disciple next to him and teaches him. This one is also sitting next to him, capital H. He simply tells you, children, consider yourselves to be souls and constantly remember me alone. So Brahma Baba dedicated his life to perfecting that. And Shiv Baba was constantly showing him this. And Brahma Baba was showing it whatever he learned to us. And that is how he settled all his karma. You consider yourself to be souls in the golden age, but you don't know the Father. I, the soul, shed a body and take another. According to the drama, such are your parts. This is why your lifespan there remained long. You remain pure there. In the golden age, your lifespans are long, whereas in the iron age, they are short. There, you are yogis, whereas here, You are
Bogus.
bogies. Yogis are pure. There is no kingdom of Ravan there. So lifespans are long. Here, lifespans are so short. This is called the suffering of karma. There is never any untimely death there. The Father says you have to recognize the Father, and so you have to follow Srimad. Remember the one Father. Consider yourself to be a soul. I now have to return home, and so I have to shed this body. Use the rest of your time that you're not practicing remembrance. Use the rest of your time for doing service. And then, of course, when you're doing service, you practice being a karma yogi. You children are very poor, and this is why the Father feels mercy for you. He doesn't give any difficulty to you old mothers and the hunchback. Those who are old are called hunchback, because they always walk with the curved back. It's explained to the old mothers, remember the Father. When someone asks you where you are going, tell him that you are going to a Gita Pachala. Some children spend so much on exhibitions, etc. They even write that so-and-so was very impressed. But Baba says, none of them writes to say that the unlimited Father truly has come into the body of Brahma at this time, and it's only from him that you receive the inheritance of heaven. So if they don't write that, don't get so excited that they were so impressed. Yeah, they talk to you. They could understand a little bit. But if they don't come out of that experience and you told them that God was here and they're here to get the unlimited inheritance from God, their Father, incorporeal Shiva, then they didn't really get terribly impressed. Baba then understands that not a single one has had that faith. They simply become impressed that this knowledge is very good, and you've explained the picture of the latter very well. But they themselves don't stay in yoga and become Sattva Pradhan from Tamo Pradhan. Why? Because they haven't had a very deep experience. They simply say that the explanation you give of receiving the inheritance from God is very good, but they themselves don't want to receive it. They don't make any effort at all. Many subjects will be created, but it takes effort to become a king. Each of you can ask your own heart, Pulin, to what extent do I stay in remembrance of the Father and remain cheerful? We are once again becoming deities. Sit in solitude and talk to yourself. Try this for yourself. Continue to remember the Father because he guarantees that you will never cry for half the cycle. You now say that Baba comes and enables you to conquer Maya Ravan. Whatever effort each of you makes, you do that effort.
Every cycle.
Yes, but you do it
for yourself.
for yourself. You will then go to the new world. Since you have to become Sattva Pradhan from Tamo Pradhan, the karmic accounts of the old world have to be settled. He also shows you the way to become pure. This is the time of settlement, and everything has to be destroyed. The new world is to be established. Yeah, we have to completely detach from the old world before the world is destroyed. It's not such a great idea to do it after the world's destroyed. The new world is to be established. You know that you will shed your bodies in this land of death and then go to that new world of immortality. We are studying for the new world. There's no other study place like this one where they teach for the future. Yet those who donate a lot and perform a lot of charity take birth to a king. There is a saying, a golden spoon in the mouth. So we are in the process of having a golden spoon put in our mouths for 20 more physical births. You receive that in the golden age. Even in the iron age, those who take birth to kings also receive a golden spoon. Nevertheless, there are many types of sorrow here. You will not have any sorrow for your future 21 births. You will never fall ill. You will have a golden spoon in heaven. Here, people have a kingdom for a temporary period. You receive it for 21 births. You have to use your intellects very well about all these things, then explain them to others. It isn't that you can't become kings on the path of bhakti. You can become lucky kings. When someone builds a college or
University. Dharmshala.
a college or
University. Dharmshala. Hospital.
hospital, he receives the return of that. If he opens a hospital, he receives good health in his next birth. They say throughout his whole life, this one hasn't even had a fever. They have long lifespans. When someone has donated a lot and opened a hospital, etc., his lifespan increases. So this is what's the importance of yogi food. Food cooked in remembrance, food cooked with the right nutrients, the right methods. It's very deep stuff. Here, you become ever healthy and wealthy by having yoga. By having yoga, you receive good health for 21 births. So you get good health for 21 births without having to build a hospital. But if you do open up a center, that's like opening up a hospital, university, dharamshala, I guess those are the main ones. It's like opening up a bank or a stock market. Create so much fortune for so many. This is a very big hospital and a big college. The father explains everything very clearly. The father says any of you can go and study wherever your heart likes and at whatever center you enjoy. Just go where you're happy. No one should say you should only come to our center. No, but you should go to a center that matches the level of effort that you wish to make and the elevatedness of your aim. No one should say you should only come to our center. Why are you going to that center? No, any of you can go to any center you want. It is the same thing. It is the same Murli that is read everywhere. This Murli is sent from here, Madhaban, and then some read it very well with explanations, whereas others just simply read it straight. Those who give good lectures issue very good challenges. Wherever there is a lecture, first of all, tell them. Shiv Baba says, consider yourself to be a soul and remember me, your father, and your sins will be absolved, and you'll become pure and the masters of the pure world. Consider yourself to be souls and remember me, your father, and your sins will be absolved, and you'll become pure and the masters of the pure world. He explains it to you so easily. Acha, mite sekila de bacho prati mat pita bap dada kaya pyar od morning. Ruhani bap ki ruhani bacho ko namaste. Ruhani bacho ki ruhani bap ko namaste. Essence for Dharna. Number 1, let go of wasteful thoughts of external things. Anything about the world, anything about anything, stop thinking about it. Sit in solitude and make effort to remember the Father. Wake up early in the morning and churn the ocean of knowledge and also look at your chart. 2, just as donations and charity are important on the path of bhakti, so remembrance is important on the path of knowledge. Make your soul ever healthy and wealthy with remembrance. Practice remaining bodies. So remembrance is like doing donation, dawn, and charity. In bhakti, you have remembrance. But in bhakti, you have donation. In Gyan, you have remembrance. So he's saying ultimately your fortune is being earned on the basis of remembrance. Blessing. May you serve in your combined form and bring souls into a close relationship. By your simply serving with sound, subjects are created. So you have to stabilize yourself in the stage beyond sound and then come into sound. First be in the avyat stage and then come into sound. Service done by you in this combined form will create heirs. Service done by you when you're in this combined form will create heir souls. Souls impressed by sound will hear many types of sounds and will come and go. But when you are in your combined form and then do service in this form, they will not be influenced by any other form. They'll be so captured, absorbed in the knowledge you're sharing. Slogan, use the facilities, but do not allow your spiritual endeavor, sadhana, to have an attitude of unlimited disinterest to be merged in them. So use the facilities, but do not allow your spiritual endeavor, effort, to have an attitude of unlimited disinterest to be merged in them. Om Shanti. Tolerant children can use the power of their tolerance to make those with harsh sanskars and difficult tasks cool and easy. Those with virtue of tolerance will be mature and go into the depths of everything. They will never be afraid. Never. So 2 big things today, no fear and no, he said today, no crying, because you're not allowed to cry for 21 births. This is one of the 21 births. No more crying. Got to finish. They'll never be afraid. be in control of your feelings. They will go into the depths and attain success. Om Shanti.